Listen carefully, because what I'm about to tell you has the power to alter the entire trajectory of your life. The world is noisy. It pulls at your mind, your time, your energy. It distracts you with empty comparisons, false standards, and the illusion that your value is determined by the opinions of others. But let me give you a truth that will not shake, a truth that has built empires, transformed minds, and carved legends out of ordinary people. Your greatest breakthrough will come the moment you decide to stop chasing the world and start building yourself. You were not created to be a reflection of other people's expectations. You were born with a purpose. And until you focus, truly focus, on developing your mind, strengthening your will, and moving with intention, you will continue to live beneath your potential. This message is not for the weak. It is for those who are ready to take control, to dominate their own thoughts, to become relentless in their pursuit of growth. This is about you, and it starts now. Your mind is the command center of your destiny. It is both the architect and the builder of your future. Every action you take, every choice you make, every triumph you will ever experience begins not with your hands, not with your feet, but in the sacred chambers of your own mind. If you wish to rise, if you truly wish to achieve anything of lasting value, you must first gain absolute control over the thoughts you think. Because make no mistaking, your thoughts are not harmless. They are powerful. They are creative. They are the seeds of either success or suffering. You must understand this with clarity. The mind is a battlefield, and every day you wake up, you are at war. The enemy, doubt, fear, procrastination, the ghost of past failures, the whispers of the world telling you to stay average, to settle, to shrink. But the truth, the liberating, electrifying truth, is that you are the commander. You hold the sword. You issue the orders. And the first order must be this: I will no longer allow destructive thoughts to dwell in the palace of my mind. I think of your mind like fertile soil. What you plant, it will grow. If you plant fear, you will reap hesitation. If you plant indecision, you will harvest regret. But if you plant faith, faith in yourself, faith in your vision, faith in the unseen potential waiting within, you will begin to see life bend in your favor. Opportunities will appear where only obstacles stood before. Resources will emerge that once seemed hidden. People will begin to feel your presence, because nothing is more magnetic than a mind that is fully owned by its master. You must discipline your thinking. You must condition it, train it, refine it daily. Just as a bodybuilder sculpts his frame with repetition and resistance, so too must you shape your thinking with focus and truth. You cannot afford to think casually. Casual thinking leads to casual living, and casual living leads to invisible destinies buried beneath distraction. Let me tell you something that is eternal. No man can rise beyond the level of his thinking. If his thoughts are small, his life will be small. If his mind is filled with confusion, his path will be uncertain. But if his thoughts are directed with power, if they are laced with vision and backed by belief, then no circumstance, no failure, no rejection, no delay can keep him from rising. Do you know why some people move faster, achieve more, and carry with them an undeniable presence? It's not luck. It's not chance. It's mental mastery. They have taken control of the internal dialogue. They no longer entertain every thought that knocks on the door of their mind. They choose what stays. They reject what weakens. And because of that choice, They command the outcomes of their lives. There was a time when I observed a man who had nothing, not wealth, not opportunity, not support. He lived in a run-down room, worked a menial job, and was surrounded by doubt. But he had something that changed everything, a mind made up. Each day, he would rise early, look into a cracked mirror, and speak aloud the future he was building. His reality didn't reflect it yet, but his mind already lived there. He refused to speak defeat. He refused to think in limits. And slowly, day by day, the world began to catch up to the vision that had taken root inside him. You must become that man, not just in word, but in thought. Speak to your mind as a ruler speaks to his kingdom. Declare what is true. Replace, I can't with, I will. Replace, what if I fail, with, what if I soar. Repetition is your weapon. Speak it until you believe it. Think it until you become it. Yes, you will face opposition. Yes, doubt will knock at your door. But every time it does, remember this: no enemy can enter a mind that is guarded by purpose and faith. You must stay armed. You must stay awake. You must remind yourself that you were born to win. But you must train your mind to think like a winner. Because when the mind is mastered, there is no limit. When the mind is ruled with clarity and conviction, circumstances must obey. When the mind is filled with focused thought and fortified belief, the body will act, the spirit will rise, and success will bow to your command. So now the question is no longer, can you do it? The question is, will you take control of your mind today? Will you silence the noise? Will you eliminate the thoughts that drain you? Will you rise from the prison of passive thinking and take up your role as the master of your mental domain? Because that is where greatness begins. That is where power is born. And that is where the journey to your highest self takes its first step. Control your mind, and you control your future. Decide now, discipline now, dominate now. Your destiny is waiting. Don't keep it waiting any longer. Let me speak to you plainly. If you do not have a definite purpose, you are drifting. You may be moving, but you are not progressing. You may be busy, but you are not building. And the tragedy is these. Most people spend their lives in motion without direction, chasing shadows instead of pursuing purpose. A man without a definite purpose is like a ship without a rudder, tossed by every wave, turned by every wind, at the mercy of circumstance. But a man with purpose, true burning, all-consuming purpose, is unstoppable. He does not wait for permission. He does not require applause. He moves with clarity. He walks with conviction. He commands results because his soul is aimed, his energy is channeled, and his time is sacred. Purpose is not a wish. It is not a vague hope. It is a decision, deliberate and firm. It is the root of all meaningful success. It is the anchor in the storm and the fire in the cold. And once you find it, once you claim it, you must protect it with everything you have, because the world will try to steal it. Distractions will try to dilute it. Doubt will try to disarm it. But your responsibility is to hold it, to nurture it, to fight for it. You must be bold enough to ask yourself the question most men avoiding. What am I here to do? Not what others expect of me, not what brings comfort, not what pays the quickest, but what sets my soul ablaze. What pulls me forward when everything around me says, stop? What makes time disappear and my spirit rise? And when you find the answer, do not hesitate. Do not delay. Write it down. Declare it aloud. Turn it into a goal so vivid, so detailed, so commanding that your mind begins to see it as reality before the world ever does. Because the mind, once fixed on a clear purpose, begins to search for pathways, gather resources, attract allies, and energize the body for action. Understand these: clarity creates momentum. Vague goals create confusion. If you aim at nothing, you hit nothing. But when you define your purpose in exact terms, your subconscious mind begins to go to work like an army, working tirelessly behind the scenes to bring your vision to life. This is not theory, it is law. And the man who learns to work in harmony with this law rises, no matter where he starts, no matter who opposes him. I have seen men with less talent outrun the gifted because they had purpose. I have seen men with no connections rise to influence because they had direction. I have seen the weak become strong and the timid become bold, not because life gave them an easier path, but because they knew exactly where they were going. Purpose transforms the way you think, the way you speak, the way you walk into a room. It brings a sense of urgency to your day, a fire to your focus, and a depth to your decisions. You no longer entertain every invitation. You no longer chase every opportunity. You are not swayed by public opinion or paralyzed by temporary failure, because your eyes are fixed on the prize and your steps are ordered by something greater than comfort. Yes, there will be setbacks. Yes, there will be days of silence, days when the vision feels far away. But this is where faith is forged. This is where resolve is tested. And this is where most give up, because they have a shallow want, not a definite purpose. But you must be different. You must persist. You must refuse to turn back, refuse to let go, refuse to let life make you forget the very reason you started. And if your purpose feels too big, too bold, too impossible, good. That means it is worth chasing. That means it will stretch you, refine you, mold you into the man you were always meant to become. A purpose that doesn't scare you a little will never grow you. A purpose that doesn't require faith is not worth the fight. So now the charge is clear. Stop wandering. Stop waiting. Stop asking for direction from people who are lost themselves. The map is inside you. The compass is your desire. The vehicle is your mind, and the destination is your greatness. Define your purpose. Make it your obsession. Make it your focus. Wake up to it. Work for it. Speak it until the world hears it echoing through your results. Because once you have a definite purpose, and you pursue it with focused thought, unshakable faith, and relentless persistence, nothing can stand in your way. Begin today. Decide today, and let the world feel the force of a man who knows exactly where he is going. Time is not a gift. It is a loan, with no guarantee of renewal. Each second you are given is a portion of your life being spent. And once spent, it cannot be reclaimed. That is why the man who values his time is always ahead. That is why the man who commands his environment always rises. Success does not bloom in chaos. It grows in order. It multiplies in structure. It thrives in the hands of the focused, the disciplined, the deliberate. A man who fails to take ownership of his time becomes a servant to every distraction. He becomes a puppet of noise, a prisoner to the demands of others, a wanderer in a maze built by people with stronger focus and firmer boundaries. But the man who takes control of his hours, who builds a fortress around his mind, who chooses his inputs and designs his environment, that man becomes a master of his fate. You cannot plant the seeds of greatness in soil that is scattered and noisy. You cannot write the book, build the business, Grow the vision in an atmosphere filled with interruptions and confusion. Clarity demands space. Discipline demands structure. A growth demands protection. If your environment is not in alignment with your purpose, it will pull you away from it. Slowly at first, then all at once. Look around you. What surrounds you? Who surrounds you? What do you see the moment you wake up? What sounds fill your ears? What consumes your first hour? Is it building you? Or is it burying you beneath meaningless noise? I once knew a man who dreamed of building a life of influence, but his days were dictated by every buzz, every ping, every invitation to escape his work and indulge his distraction. And so his dream remained just that, a dream, untouched, unlived, unfulfilled, until the day he changed everything. He took inventory. He stripped away the clutter. He cut off the unnecessary. He made space for creation. He made time for study. He learned to say no without apology. And with each deliberate change, his mind grew sharper. His results began to shift. His life, once chaotic, began to take on the shape of purpose. Why? Because his time was no longer rented out to distractions. His environment was no longer hostile to his goals. He had reclaimed his territory. He had taken back control. You must do the same. You must become ruthless with your time. You must become intentional with your environment. Success does not visit the unprepared. It does not stay where confusion reigns. It dwells with those who have made room for it. Those who have crafted a space where vision breathes, where silence speaks, where focus rules. Begin with your schedule. Do not let your day happen. Design it, carve it, define it. Rise early. Start with purpose. Decide what matters, and do it first. Let each hour serve your purpose. Let each task build your dream. Remove what does not move you forward. Replace what does not strengthen you. Every wasted hour is a brick removed from the foundation of your future. Every productive one is a step closer to the man you are becoming. And do not stop at time. Transform your physical space. Clean it. Organize it. Strip away the mess. Surround yourself with clarity, with inspiration, with reminders of your vision. Let your environment whisper success. Let it reflect the man you intend to become, not the man you used to be. Your phone, your desk, your room, your inbox, they are either helping you or hurting you. There is no neutral ground. Either your environment pulls you toward discipline, or it pushes you toward delay. Either it sparks your momentum or it drowns it. And hear me now, you have the power to choose. You have the power to say, this space will no longer drain me. This time will no longer be wasted. This life will no longer be ruled by reaction. I am in control. It begins with one decision, one cleared corner, one protected hour. And from there, the world begins to change. Not by chance, but by command. Your command. The man who masters his time and environment does not wait for opportunities. He creates them. He does not hope for success. He makes space for it. He does not live by accident. He lives by design. So take control. Reclaim your day. Guard your mind. Clear the noise. Cut the waste. Build the temple of your life brick by brick. With focus, with discipline, with authority. And as you do, watch how everything begins to align. Watch how your energy returns. Watch how the results begin to multiply. Not because you worked harder, but because you worked smarter. This is your time. This is your space. Own it, master it, and use it to carve the life you were born to live. There is a quiet war raging within every man. It is not a war of muscle or weapons. It is a war of attention. Every day, The forces of distraction knock at your door. Every day the world demands your focus, your energy, your mind. If you are not vigilant, if you do not claim your mind as sacred territory, you will be ruled by forces that do not care about your success, your growth, or your greatness. To rise above the masses, you must master the inner domain. You must take full control of your thoughts, because every result you produce, every action you take, every success you earn, begins first in the theater of your mind. Thought is the root, action is the fruit, but thought comes first, always. A man who does not guard his thoughts is like a farmer who plants his field and then opens the gate to every wild beast. He may plant the seeds of success, but if he allows weeds of fear, doubt, envy, and self-pity to grow unchecked, those seeds will never produce a harvest. Your mind must be cultivated. It must be protected. It must be trained like a warrior and focused like a laser. You must learn to reject every thought that does not serve your vision. You must learn to replace every limiting belief with one that empowers, one that builds, one that stretches you into the man you are capable of becoming. You must choose your thoughts the way a master builder chooses his bricks. Carefully, intentionally, with the end result firmly in mind. There is power in thought. It is the first cause of every victory. It is the birthplace of every achievement. But thought, left undisciplined, becomes a prison. It becomes a tool of destruction. It turns against you. And so, if you do not train your mind will train you to settle, to doubt, to quit. This is why you must feed your mind daily with the food of greatness. Read what inspires you. Listen to what strengthens you. Speak what affirms your purpose. Avoid the poison of small talk, meaningless media, and aimless noise. Guard your ears, guard your eyes, guard your heart, not out of fear, but out of focus. There is an old saying, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. This is not philosophy. This is fact. If you believe you are weak, your actions will shrink. If you believe you are destined to fail, your decisions will sabotage your own future. But if you believe that success is yours, if you hold in your mind a crystal clear image of your victory, then no matter the opposition, you will find a way to rise. I once met a man whose life had been marked by failure. He had the talent, he had the tools, but every time he began to build, he sabotaged his progress with fear. He spoke of doubt. He imagined the worst. And so, it came to pass. Not because he lacked ability, but because he fed the wrong thoughts. It wasn't until he made the decision to rewire his mind, to speak with faith, to imagine the best, to think in terms of victory, that his entire life began to shift. Nothing outside you can hold you back as powerfully as the thoughts inside you. No enemy is more dangerous than the enemy in your own head, and no ally is more valuable than a mind trained to think, believe, and expect success. So the question becomes, what are you thinking about right now? Is it building you? Is it pushing you forward? Is it aligned with your purpose? If not, replace it immediately, because the thoughts you entertain become the reality you live. You must develop the discipline of mental focus, the strength to direct your thoughts toward the future you want, not the past you regret. The power to say, I am not a victim of circumstance. I am a creator of destiny. And then to live that belief, not just once, not just when it's easy, but every day, in every decision, with every fiber of your being. This is the battle of the mind, and it must be won daily. Victory belongs to the man who commands his thoughts. in the man who uses his imagination as a tool of creation, not destruction. The man who believes in his vision so deeply, so completely, that no doubt can take root. Make a decision today. No more idle thoughts. No more passive thinking. No more mental drift. From this moment forward, you will be the master of your mind. You will think with purpose. You will speak with power. You will live with clarity, because when your mind is focused, truly focused, there is no mountain too high, no goal too great, and no dream too bold. Everything begins with thought. And you, my friend, hold the power to shape your thoughts into the very foundation of your future. So sharpen your mind. Strengthen your thoughts. Focus like your life depends on it, because it does. If you walk the path of success alone, you may move faster for a while, but you will not go far. For no man was ever designed to rise in isolation. Every dream that was ever brought to life, every empire ever built, every great vision ever realized, was accomplished with the help of others. The world belongs to those who understand that greatness is not a solo mission. It is a collaborative force, born in the minds of a few, but built by the hands of many. The man who surrounds himself with strong minds multiplies his own strength. The man who walks with the wise becomes wiser. But the man who tries to do everything alone, who hides behind pride, who refuses counsel and rejects accountability, that man eventually falls under the weight of his own stubbornness. A single flame, no matter how bright, is vulnerable to the wind. But a fire fueled by many flames, protected, stoked, and fed, cannot be extinguished. This is the essence of what I call deliberate alliance, a mastermind, a gathering of minds unified by purpose, focused by intention, elevated by association. Look closely at the lives of the great achievers. Study their ascent. You will always find others walking beside them. Advisors, mentors, partners, confidants. Individuals who sharpened their vision, strengthened their courage, and elevated their resolve, not by accident, by choice, strategic, intentional, powerful choice. There was once a man with vision so clear it lit his spirit like a torch in the darkness. But every time he stumbled, he kept his failure to himself. Every time he grew weary, he carried the burden in silence. And though he was talented, although he had a brilliant mind and a fire in his soul, his journey was long, slow, and filled with unnecessary struggle. Not because the dream was too big, but because he tried to carry it alone. It wasn't until he aligned himself with others who shared his values, others who challenged his thinking, refined his ideas, and lifted his spirit, that his vision began to accelerate. Suddenly, doors began to open, strength returned, energy surged, and momentum replaced fatigue. He was no longer one man climbing a mountain. He was part of a force moving with unified strength. You must seek out those sharpen you. You must build around you a circle of excellence. People who do not just nod in agreement, but who challenge you to think higher, act stronger, believe deeper. People who call out the best in you, even when it's buried beneath doubt or fear. This is not about friendship. It is about alignment. It is about surrounding yourself with minds that move in the direction of greatness. Minds that do not tolerate mediocrity. Minds that dream boldly, speak truthfully, act decisively. Minds that feed your purpose, not your comfort. But let me warn you, just as the right associations can lift you, the wrong ones will destroy you. A toxic voice can pollute your mind. A faithless companion can dilute your belief. A bitter spirit can spread like a virus and suffocate your ambition. So choose wisely. Choose fiercely. Protect your circle like you would protect your dream, because the two are inseparably linked. If you are the smartest, strongest, and most driven person in the room, you are in the wrong room. You must place yourself in environments that stretch you, that challenge your complacency, that require your excellence. Iron sharpens iron, but only if it is close enough to strike. Do not confuse solitude with strength. There is strength in silence, yes, but isolation is a trap. Pride whispers, "You don't need anyone." But wisdom replies, "No man climbs Everest alone." Surround yourself with those who see your potential even when you forget it. Walk with those who remind you of your vision when your sight grows dim. Speak with those who feed your fire when the winds of life try to blow it out. Because when the storm comes, and it will, you'll need more than ambition. You'll need alignment. You'll need strength that multiplies through connection. You'll need a circle that holds the line with you, that fights with you, that believes with you. So I ask you now, who are you walking with? Who speaks into your life? Who holds you accountable? Who stretches your thinking, elevates your ambition, strengthens your resolve? If you cannot name them, it is time to find them. Your destiny demands it. Choose your allies, build your circle. Forge your mastermind, not tomorrow, not when things slow down. Now, because the man who walks alone may arrive eventually, but the man who walks with wisdom arrives stronger, faster, and with far more to give. Decide now to never climb alone. Reach out, align upward, and walk boldly with those who push you toward the life you were born to live. Now you stand at the edge of decision, a sacred place where the ordinary man turns back, but the extraordinary man steps forward. You have heard the truth. You have been reminded of your power. You have been shown the path. The only question that remains is, what will you do with it? Will you continue to drift, allowing your thoughts to be shaped by circumstance, your actions to be dictated by fear, and your destiny to be delayed by doubt? Or will you rise, decisively, deliberately, unapologetically, and claim the life that is rightfully yours? The journey toward greatness does not begin with a crowd. It does not begin with applause. It begins with a single decision made in the stillness of your own heart. Oh, I will focus on myself. I will take ownership of my mind. I will master my habits. I will protect my energy. I will walk with those who sharpen me, not those who soften me. And I will move day by day with unwavering purpose toward the future I have chosen. This is your moment to draw a line in the sand. This is your moment to silence the noise, to rise above the distractions, and to plant your flag on the mountaintop of your own vision. No more excuses, no more waiting, no more wandering. The power is in your hands. Your life will be the sum of what you focus on. Let that focus be your faith. Let that focus be your mission. Let that focus be your legacy. So go now, sharpened, strengthened, and stirred to action. Do not delay. Do not look back. Do not waste another second living a life smaller than the one you are capable of. The world is waiting for your greatness. Don't keep it waiting any longer. Good luck on your journey, and thank you for daring to believe in what's possible.